As part of Fáilte Ireland's supports on driving domestic sales, boosting sales with social media, this video takes you through promoting your social media content. Would you like some good news? There is an immediate opportunity to be had right now on Facebook and Instagram in the form of reduced ad costs. What has happened as a result of COVID-19 is that many of the world's largest brands and businesses have turned off or reduced their paid social media ad spend. And this has brought down the cost of advertising on the platforms. There's less competition, and yet, as we know, people are spending more time on social media. So this is an immediate opportunity for you to promote your business directly into the hands of the people you need to attract to come and visit you this summer. It can be a bit confusing. If you're running ads on Instagram, the tool you use is called Facebook Business Manager. And if you're running ads on Facebook, you also use the Business Manager too. So take a little time to become familiar with this very important tool for setting up and managing your paid social media ads. A couple of things that the Facebook Business Manager allows you to do are set up your Facebook pixel. This is an important piece of code that you can install on your website, and it enables you to track the success of your ads at bringing people to your website. So it will register when someone leaves Facebook or Instagram and comes onto your website, which is what you want them to do. It's quite easy to set up. You can just send the code to a web developer who'll add it onto your website correctly. Another great area of Facebook Business Manager, and one where you'll be spending a considerable amount of time, is in the whole area of audiences. This is where you can create custom audiences of people who've already engaged with you. Now, if you have sought permission on your website and you're adhering to the GDPR policy guidelines, you can upload customer lists. Here is also where you can create audiences of people who've already engaged with your videos or your content, or who've clicked on links on your Instagram or your Facebook feed. A third area you might want to seek out in Facebook Business Manager is in the whole area of billing. It's a really good idea to add a credit limit to your account so that you can't make any mistakes and go spending more money than you'd intended to. And finally, spend some time in the Creative Hub on Facebook Business Manager. This allows you to mock up what your ad creative is going to look like. It will resize it and show you exactly how it's going to look on the different sizes and formats. For example, what's your Instagram story ad going to look like versus the ad that's going out in the Facebook newsfeed. The really great thing is you can save your mock-ups, and then when you've decided you're going to use them, you can draw them down directly from the Creative Hub into your ads. So there are 4 areas of the Facebook Business Manager that are well worth getting familiar with. Have a look at them and let's move on to the next section. You are ready to turn on your first set of Facebook and Instagram ads. You open Facebook Business Manager, you click on Ads Manager, create an account if you haven't already got one, and the first question that you will be asked are what type of ads do you want to run? And here you will see Facebook offers you a myriad number of ad objectives. And the thing you have to do is trust that Facebook is going to deliver on the ad objective that you choose. So if you choose video views, for example, the Facebook algorithm knows to show your ad to people who are more likely to watch videos on the platform than anyone else. If you choose lead generation, Facebook knows to show that ad to people who are more likely to sign up for things on the platform. So you have to trust that the algorithm is going to do its job okay. And you have to take responsibility for choosing the correct objective to deliver the results that you need. Now, I know we all want sales and conversions, but what we've got to do is work our content through a funnel to land at the all-important sale or result. At the beginning, I suggest that you go for video views. It's the cheapest way to get your content seen. Video views are about 1 or 2 cents a view, so it's a great way to build an audience and to get your message out there. Then I would recommend going for conversions because you want to get people to come on over to your landing page and to convert, hopefully. You could go with lead generation ads if you're looking to get a sign up. And if you're coming back after a long time away, like many of you are right now, go and turn on some brand awareness ads. Now, brand awareness ads are a little bit less action orientated, but they're a really good way of warming up an audience to show that you're back. These are the only ad objectives that I really recommend spending any money on. The rest of the ad objectives shown here don't really work. One of the mistakes people make is that they click on the boost button on Facebook and they think that this is going to drive them lots of traffic. What not many people know is that when they click on the boost button, it's actually setting up an ad using the engagement objective. And the engagement objective is where Facebook is going to show that content to people who are likely to comment on the post. If like and share style comments on your posts are important to you, go for that metric. But if driving sales and leads are more important, let's move on to the next section and I'm going to show you how to set up your paid promotion campaign. Some quick tips for those of you who want to run a brand awareness ad to show people that you're back. You can turn these on immediately and have them running while you're working on the rest of your ads for your paid social campaign. So brand awareness ads are going to be shown by Facebook to as many people as possible. It's not necessarily about taking action on your content, but it's more about showing them and getting your name out there again. You can set up brand awareness ads with a tiny budget of like $2 to $3 a day and run the ads to show people that you're back. A simple image, like we did here for Thyme Restaurant in Athlone, is a good way to show people that you're back and that you're open for business. For more help on creating stunning images and videos, I would advise that you watch the suite of videos on creating compelling content, which are also available as part of these supports. So you've selected your objective, and let's say we're at the start of the campaign and we're running with video views for Epic Adventures. The next thing you need to do is set your targeting. The absolute best type of targeting is to go for a warm audience. So these are people who've already touched with your content in some shape or form before. They are a warm audience. They are much more likely to be aware of you and to take action in the way that you desire them to do so. Another great thing that you can do with your warm audiences is that you can create a lookalike audience. A lookalike audience is where Facebook will create an audience of people who've got all of the same characteristics and likes as your existing custom audience. Imagine it matches your audience of customers or people who've engaged with your content with another audience that you just haven't reached yet. You can use this audience to target with your video view ads. If you have no warm audience, if you're completely starting out fresh, you've done no content on Facebook or Instagram that people have engaged with, then you're starting with what are called interest audiences. And this is an alternative option. It's a slightly colder audience, but you can get great results from this. This is where you go into the Facebook Ads Manager and you type some keywords into the box and it will make suggestions to you of people who have the characteristics that you're looking for. Take care though when you're using these audiences because they're not always up to date. So for example, newlyweds or young moms or recently engaged, these people may have moved out of that life cycle and Facebook hasn't updated itself yet. But if you haven't got any audience whatsoever to target, use the Facebook interest targeting because it's a really good place to start. You can quickly build your own audience of people who view your content, in this case, video views. I would suggest you create a custom audience of people who watch 10 seconds or more of your video, and then you can retarget these people with more and exciting new content on your offer. Don't forget to put the demographic overlay on top of the warm or cold audience that you're going for. So obviously you want to be targeting the island of Ireland. You might want to put some age constraints on, for example, 25 to 55. Don't go too specific on this at the moment, because if you go broad at the start, Facebook will actually show your ad to as many people as possible, and you can allow the market itself to show you who's interested in your content by their engagement with the ad. As you're building your targeting options, you'll be able to see on the right-hand side the size of the audience that you are building. So don't go too tight, because too small an audience isn't going to get the results. It's a good idea to go quite broad at the start, maybe target the island of Ireland, run that for 2 or 3 days. We say 3 days because that's how long it takes the algorithm to learn what's working. So if you run that for 3 days and then come back and have a look and see in the reporting what age group, what counties, what type of person is responding to your ad, you can then go on and apply these as tighter constraints on the targeting for your subsequent ads in the following days and weeks. Now, the tendency to go broad on placements can be real, but I don't recommend you do it. Okay? Facebook is running out of ad inventory space, and it keeps coming up with more and new ways and places that we can advertise, but they're not always good and they don't always bring home the results that you need. If you have time and a little budget on your hands, you could set the placements to target all placements and run that for 3 days. Facebook will show your ad across all the placements, and you can come back after 3 days and look at the results to see where got the most results for you. In my experience, Instagram Grid, Instagram Stories, Facebook Newsfeed, mobile and desktop are where it's at. So if you want to cut to the chase, I suggest you just set your placements to these four, and then also keep an eye on which placements are working best for you. You might find that you're having equal results from Facebook and Instagram, or you might find that one is delivering more than the other. Although Instagram is a really strong platform and it's fantastic for brand awareness and getting your message directly into the hands of the people that you need, Facebook is still very reliable for driving those conversions. So my advice is to run the ad placements on Facebook and Instagram and give yourself the best opportunity to get those results. When you've been through all of your targeting and you've selected your placements, the next area at the ad set level in Facebook Ads Manager is where they ask you to set your budget. It's a really good idea to put a budget in and to put an end date on everything you put in. You do not want your ads running away and spending up all your budget. Know that there are two different types of budget. You can have a daily budget or you can have a lifetime budget. I prefer to use a daily budget on most campaigns because this will spread out your budget over several days or weeks and allow you to build a consistent audience and a consistent messaging throughout. If you use a lifetime budget, what you're essentially doing is you're telling Facebook that the lifetime of this campaign is, for example, 2 weeks. And if Facebook sees a lot of really good activity on some of your content in the first couple of days, it will spend all of your budget or most of your budget down right at the start. This can be quite attractive, but if you haven't fully tested your ad creative to know what's really working, it could be a dangerous thing to spend all of your valuable ads budget at the start of your campaign. And for this reason, I recommend that you go with a daily budget. Put your daily budget in and make sure you put an end date on, and then you're ready to move on to the next stage. The template for managing campaign budgets to support this video is available here on the Fall to Ireland website. This is a template where you can fill in and allocate your budget for the different stages of the funnel. It's a really good idea to spend most of your budget at the top and middle stages so that you're getting your messaging out to as wide an audience as possible. The lower stage is going to be shown to a smaller number. It is a numbers game after all, and you don't need as much money to spend to convert them at this point once you've warmed them up with your fabulous top and middle funnel content. The single most important place that you need to spend your time and energy on your Facebook and Instagram ads is fixating on your creative. Best practice is to come up with 4 different images or videos that you're going to seed out to see what flies with your audience. This is quite easy when you're using tools to create your images or your videos. You can put on different background colors, you can focus on different objects, but it's a good idea to run with up to 4 videos or images at the start to see which one works best. Think about it. If you just choose one image and put that out as your ad, this could have been the worst performing image out of the 4. So it's a really good idea to take the time at the beginning to make 4 images, run them for 3 days, and see which one is performing the best. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to be aware when advertising on Facebook. There is a rule that they do not like more than 20% of text on your image. This can be quite challenging if you're running with a logo on your image, for example, and if the logo has a lot of text. It's also quite challenging when we want to run with offers and we want to put the text of our offer onto the image. There is a handy tool which is available in Facebook Business Manager. It's called the Image Checker tool. And here you can upload your images and it will tell you if that image is going to pass the test or not. It can be a little confusing when you're looking at the title of the elements on your Facebook ad. They don't always go where you'd expect them to. So, for example, the headline, for some reason, appears underneath your image. Facebook gives you loads of options to choose from, but you know the one that works the best across every campaign I've ever worked on is Learn More. The second best is Shop Now. The third best is Sign Up. Now, Learn More has a higher click-through rate, but Sign Up gets a better conversion rate. So what you can do is you can turn on what's called the dynamic creative function, where you can set up to 5 headlines, 5 calls to action, and you can run 5 different pieces of image or video in your ad. Using the dynamic creative function, Facebook will show variants of your ad, and after a number of days, you can come back in and you can have a look and you can see what the winning combination was. It's so easy. So there's no reason not to test, and it's really important that you test and see what is the sweet spot on your ad creative that will make your audience want to buy. Other features of your ad creative is the link destination. And I would remind you here that you should link to your landing page and be sure to use your UTM codes so that your Google Analytics will be able to track exactly what content drove this traffic from the Facebook platform to the landing page on your website. So this is an example of a campaign that we've created for Epic Adventures. As you can see, we've got different pieces of creative for different stages of the funnel, and they're working to different objectives. As you can see, we're beginning with the video views objective, and we've created a couple of gorgeous looking videos with different headlines and calls to action, and we're going to test to see which one of these works the most to drive video views. At this point, we will create an audience of people who've engaged with 10 seconds or more of that video. At the next level down, you can see we've created a number of gorgeous images that are speaking to the features or the different parts of the service that are on offer from Epic Adventure. These will be shown to people who engage with more than 10 seconds of the videos from the video views objective at the top. The objective of these ones is going to be around conversion. We want these people to follow the link and to sign up or to make an inquiry, or better yet, to make a booking with us. Finally, we have some images that are created that are designed to address some of the potential blockers that people might have that might stop them from booking. Finally, we have some pure sales messaging that's going to make our offer, and this will be shown to the people who've engaged with all of the advertising content so far. So I hope you can see that this offer is much more likely to get the desired results because we've warmed up the audience by showing them great content about the destination and beautiful images about what they can do there. So that's what we did for Epic Adventures. Some other tips that you might want to bear in mind when you're planning your campaign are as follows. Are you going to run with a single image, a video, or a carousel? So a carousel is a combination of videos and images. Now, it's really good on Instagram, but it doesn't work so well on Facebook. It's a great way to tell a story, but I find in practice, people will engage much more directly and convert on just a simple, really nicely designed image. Video works extremely well, especially at the top of the funnel when you're doing that broad destination piece and you're trying to break into people's awareness. And a really good thing to do is to stick to short videos here. 15 seconds is the maximum length for Instagram stories. And unfortunately, I think that has made our concentration levels drop. So I'm seeing 15 to 30 seconds is about the absolute longest I'd go for a Facebook video ad. Try and stick to 15 seconds. I know it can be difficult, but it's so well worth it in the end. Your stories ads at 15 seconds, they've got to be quick. You can have multiple screens and you need to have really super fast editing from screen to screen. Don't be afraid to put your call to action in at the start and again at the end. Stories ads, they need to be quick, so you need to have multiple scenes of super fast editing. Remember, 60% of people watch Instagram stories with the sound turned on, so you can use sound in your favor when you're using Instagram stories for ads. Finally, I would recommend you go and mock up some samples in the Creative Hub in Facebook Business Manager. You can make videos up to 6 minutes long here, and you can do this by just uploading still images and using some of the effects that Facebook offers you to create videos there. Save your videos in the Creative Hub, and then you can draw them down as creative when you're making your ad in the Ads Manager. If anyone is watching who's had a Facebook or Instagram ad disapproved, you will know how frustrating it can be. After all of that work and setting your ads to go, you get a message back from Facebook saying your ad has been disapproved. In true Facebook style, it never really gives you too much detail as to why this can happen. Here are some of the reasons why your ads might have been disapproved. I'm sharing these with you now so you can work hard to make sure that your summer 2020 ads all get through the Facebook approval filters. Number one, is your ad in breach of the Facebook community standards? So obviously they're around things like safety, objectionable content, integrity and honesty. So you have to be a good citizen in order to be able to advertise on Facebook and Instagram. I mentioned the 20% text rule before. There's a great tool in Facebook Business Manager where you can check your images to make sure it passes. This is a common one. If you're targeting along personal attributes such as race, ethnicity, origin, body shape, for example, they will actually block your ad. So, for example, you cannot target ads at people who you know are Jewish, for example. You have to be a little bit more subtle in your creative to show people that you're not directly targeting them. Finally, another really good tip is to avoid using the words you, yours, and other in your copy. Okay, this is just a carry on from that other point of while we are using the targeting options to target people with our ads, we kind of have to show that we're not using them. So speaking directly to a person is deemed to be intimidating and will get Facebook to disapprove your ads. While we're on the subject of disapprovals, be aware that at peak times, it can take up to 48 hours for your ads to be approved. So it's a good idea if you are working to a launch or something with a specific timeline to set up your ads as soon as you've got the creative ready and get them approved, and then you can switch them to draft and turn them on when you're good and ready. So peak times would be things like summer holidays, Labor Day in the US, and definitely Halloween and Christmas. So if you're planning a campaign around Christmas time, it's a really good idea to set up your ads as soon as possible. And by that, I mean, if you can get them done in November and get them approved, happy days. So now You have got all of the knowledge that you need to go out and set up your own Facebook and Instagram ads. You might be wondering, how does this tie back into the very beginning of the series where we're looking at planning and creating your social media content? Remember the personas that we looked at? Remember the questions that we asked? What do they know now? What do they know now about your business equals the kind of messaging that you want to put out at the very top of your funnel. And we know now that this is going to be video using the video views objective. Going back to the persona, the answers to the question, what do they know tomorrow? This is what's going out in the middle part of your advertising funnel. You're probably going to be using the conversion or maybe the lead generation objective, and you might be using beautiful imagery or videos as your creative. The final part, when you run with your offer, is going to be the stage where you're going to use lead generation or conversion ads again, and you're going to supplement this with some content as well as the offer. You're going to supplement it with content that addresses the blockers that you brought up in your persona document. It's so worth it. Using Facebook and Instagram ads is such a huge opportunity. It allows you to get in front of anyone that you wish to target for as little as 1 or 2 cents. Trust me, when you turn on your Facebook and Instagram ads and you have them running, it's a really effective way of driving traffic to your landing page and let your landing page offer convert the business into the sale. To sum up on Facebook and Instagram ads, spend a good deal of time planning your creative. It is the touch point of your ads. It is the piece that people will engage with. Don't be tempted to go straight into the offer. We now know about warming up an audience, giving them some features before coming in with the offer. And do consult the download for more detail and budget planning advice. The template and guidance note to support this video is located here on the Fáilte Ireland website. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you found this useful.